Hello everyone and welcome back for some more Drag Race tea, gossip and secrets. So today I thought I'd do something a little bit different. I've heard from a few different people that they actually, during the Snatch Game, don't always understand the characters, especially if they are UK-based characters who might only be known to an English audience. So I thought today I would explain some of the characters that have been played on the UK version of the Snatch Game. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a bit of background on each of the characters, and I'm also going to play a few clips back and forward so you can see the difference between the Snatch Game and the real version of that person, and hopefully it'll give you a little bit of background and help you better understand the jokes and the characterization that the person was trying to portray. Please note that a spoiler alert is in place for this video. Please just click that subscribe button, and if you want, ring the bell to get notified for my future videos. Bimini Bombulesh as Katie Price. Katie Price is an English model, TV personality and businesswoman. Katie actually started off her career as a glamour model, which means when you model with some form of nudity involved, whether it's full nudity or just partial nudity. There's a newspaper in the UK called The Sun, which was famous for its so-called page 3 models. On page 3 of the newspaper every week, they would have a topless model. And Katie often appeared on page 3 of The Sun, and that's how her career started. And she was actually billed under the name Jordan. And so Katie Price then used the name Jordan for a lot of her earlier modelling career, and she became known for her multiple breast enlargement surgeries, as well as using lots of fake tan, having very white teeth, and being a little bit of a party girl. And this is kind of alluded to in Bimini's performance as Katie Price.
Floyd royalty. Katie Price is here.
Is it cold in here or is it just my nipples? You know what they say, Woo?
What is that?
The nipples are the eyes of the face.
They're LA boobs as well, these ones.
Oh, they're LA boobs?
LA boobs, these ones.
Oh, I see, they're an imported boobs. Oh, I see.
My English lot are at home in the drawer.
Katie has also had quite a dramatic love life and has been married and divorced 3 times, and all of her ex-husbands are somewhat famous, so they were all quite big tabloid stories at the time. Later in life, Katie stopped using the name Jordan as much and focused more on a career as an author and businesswoman, and referred to herself as just Katie Price. Although Katie Price is not really a funny person necessarily, she does have a lot of mannerisms and stereotypes to play on, which is why Bimini's portrayal was really good. For example, Katie does pronounce the letter R slightly like a W, which is why Bimini said,
As you know, Woo, you might have heard in the press.
And what I've done this past week, because the press are outside my house every day, it's become a game. I'm like, you are not getting a picture.
Obviously, this is a slight exaggeration of Katie's accent, but it does play on a sort of stereotype about Katie. And Katie's also an avid horse rider, and at one point she was actually accused of cheating on her husband with her horse riding instructor. So that's probably why Bimini made this joke.
I've had a hectic year. My implants got held at gunpoint in South Africa.
Did they?
I walked in the stables and caught my horse cheating on me again.
Kitty Scott-Claus as Gemma Collins. Gemma Collins is an English TV personality who became well known when she appeared in 2011 on the show The Only Way is Essex. The show is a reality TV show that centres around the lives of people living in Essex. For those of you that don't know, Essex is an area, it's a county in England that's sort of on the outskirts of London. There's sort of a stereotype that people from Essex are quite loud and like to use a lot of fake tan, have very white teeth and like to go out partying. And for any Americans watching, I would say The Only Way is Essex is maybe a little bit like the TV show The Jersey Shore. New Jersey kind of has a kind of stereotype as well, and it's also close to New York but on the outskirts, and that's kind of similar to Essex versus London. And I think that's why perhaps The Only Way is Essex and The Jersey Shore are perhaps a little bit similar, so if that helps you in any way. So you could kind of say that Gemma Collins, because she's quite loud and she's known for having a really big personality, she is a little bit like perhaps the British version of Snooki from the Jersey Shore. Gemma is known for being quite loud and dramatic and being a diva a lot of the time, and she quite often says unintentionally funny things that have become big memes.
So sorry, I'm about to crash into your boat. I'm apologising now. Sorry, mate, the film crew will pay the damage.
Since appearing on The Only Way is Essex, Gemma has become a TV personality and has been on lots of other reality TV shows, including her own shows, documentaries, as well as the celebrity version of Big Brother. Both Cheryl Hole from Season 1 and Kitty Scott-Claus from Season 3 impersonated Gemma on the Snatch Game, but although Cheryl did an okay job doing the impersonation, Kitty's was much better, so I will actually focus on Kitty's performance in this video. And just in case this helps you, Gemma was actually a guest star on Season 2 of Drag Race during the Snatch Game, but she wasn't really her usual loud and crazy self. I'm not sure why, but she was quite quiet during that performance, so that's not really an accurate representation of what she's really like. Kitty actually did an amazing job impersonating Gemma, and many of the references that she did and the phrases and the sayings came from Gemma's appearance on the celebrity version of Big Brother, and also the other shows that she's been on.
I want to ask you, Gemma, how is Darren doing?
I'm claustrophobic, Darren! They don't get it! I'm claustrophobic!
Listen, Gemma.
I'm claustrophobic, Darren!
Listen.
They don't get it! I'm claustrophobic! I'm all game down.
What's wrong, Gemma?
I've had enough of playing games. It's like having a job 24/7 for 2 days on the trot. I'm all game down.
I know.
I don't want to play any more games. I'm gamed out. I've had enough of playing games. How?
It's like having a job working 24/7 for 2 days on the trot.
You're all obsessed with me, and I love it.
You're obsessed with me, and I love it.
You can go, RuPaul, you ain't ever gonna get this candy. Oh.
Take a good look at this. You ain't ever gonna get this candy.
And Kitty even appeared on Gemma Collins' podcast, and Gemma said that Kitty did such a good job that she could actually fill in for her on jobs.
You actually could get paid to be my double.
I was going to say, babe, when you want
If
to
I don't want to do a job, I think I'm sending you.
do it. I'll do it. I'll literally, big pair of sunglasses, they'll never know.
Yeah. This could actually work.
Yeah, no, we'll do it.
And just to some bonus information, on Season 3 Snatch Game, there was also another character, played by River Medway, called Amy Childs.
Amy Childs, what say you?
I wasn't really sure what to answer, but an unusual power, we all know what the strongest thing in the world is, and that's a spray tan.
Perfect, right, babe?
Brilliant. I feel like a sticky orange.
I actually can't wait for the Indian night.
That'll be so good.
So funny.
Amy Childs is actually also from the same show, The Only Way is Essex, and that's why Kitty Scott-Claus as Gemma Collins was kind of interacting with her a bit, because they're from the same show and they became famous in the same way.
You got a look ream, you got a be ream, you got a smell ream. It's the most important thing, honey.
No one says that anymore, honey.
Oh.
And reams 10 years ago.
You're so tight. You're all naughty.
Aim, I've had so much stress lately.
I can imagine, babe. Look, I'm bloody stressed at the minute.
Oh, yeah.
I need a bloody massage. Do you know what I mean?
Lawrence Chaney as Miriam Margoyles. Miriam Margoyles is a British-Australian actress, and she's best known for playing Professor Sprout in the Harry Potter films, but she has also been in many other different films. Miriam is a lesbian and has been with her partner, who is Australian, hence why she's British-Australian, since 1968. And this is quite a big part of Miriam's personality and things she talks about being a lesbian quite a lot, which is why Lawrence mentioned this in the Snatch Game.
Up next, We've got Miriam Margoyles.
For those of you that don't know who I am, you can only describe me as a thespian lesbian. Thank you.
I don't like playing lesbians. I am a lesbian, but I don't like playing them. I loathe kissing women, for example, on stage or on screen. Absolutely loathe it. Right. And I tell you why, and I'm quite serious. It's because I don't want them to think that I fancy them.
Miriam is known for being really outspoken and outrageous, especially on talk shows, and she always has a really funny and outrageous story that she tells.
Would you like to follow me to my college and I'll suck you off?
Although Lawrence's jokes didn't quite land in the Snatch Game, the actual impersonation was quite accurate, and Lawrence actually, a lot of the jokes and the references used were from interviews by Miriam Margoyles.
Cream!
Cream? Well, you got half of it right.
Well, it reminds me, Rue, of in my early days.
Yeah.
I met Laurence Olivier for the very first time, and I creamed my knickers.
When I was young, I met Laurence Olivier. Wow. And I remember so distinctly that I started to cream in my knickers. I could feel it. I could actually...
And all I can say to add to that is arseholes will be arseholes.
I thought they were all absolute arseholes, all of them.
And if you haven't ever checked out Miriam Margoyles, just go onto YouTube and look for Miriam Margoyles interviews, especially on the Graham Norton show, because she's really funny and some of her stories are so outrageous and crazy. Ella Vidae as Nigella Lawson. Nigella Lawson is an English TV cook and food writer. Nigella was originally a journalist, but she later became a TV cook in the late 90s. Nigella is actually one of the most famous TV cooks in Britain, but she's also quite well known in the US, I believe, because her programmes were also shown on American TV, and she's also appeared on several TV shows in the US, such as The Taste. Nigella is known for her flirtatious style of talking, and she's quite often been dubbed the queen of food porn because of her very flirtatious style, although Nigella always claims that that is non-intentional.
And I call them kisses because what they taste like are donuts made not of batter, but of sweet air. It is like the lightest, most fluttering caress in the mouth.
And because of this, there's quite a lot of parody mashups of Nigella's shows.
Anyway, to business, or rather pleasure. If you want to squeeze my plumptious beauties, be my guest.
And this is why Ella's portrayal of Nigella's sort of sensual nature was so accurate.
I'd love nothing more than roasting a chorizo, letting the fresh oils drip seductively down my breasts.
So what happens now is that the juices from the steak ooze into the marinade, and the fiery flavours of the marinade ooze back into the steak. It's what you call a very good relationship.
In 2020, during one of Nigella's shows, she jokingly mispronounced the word microwave.
But I still need a bit of milk, full fat, which I've warmed in the microwave.
And since then, there were so many Twitter memes and social media just blew up because people thought that Nigella actually pronounced microwave that way, but it was all a joke. But that was actually one of the main things in Ella's performance as Nigella, that she kept mispronouncing words, including microwave.
Charles Versace's new fragrance is called Blank for She Who Is.
Microwave. And then I like to lap up the fluids from the South Spoon. Hello, RuPaul. It is absolutely fabulous, Nadine Coyard.
And that's why Ella's performance was so funny, because she not only got the kind of sensual nature of Nigella, but also the microwave mispronunciation just gave her so much material for all of these funny jokes. So there you go. There was just a quick video explaining 4 of the characters from Drag Race UK Snatch Game. Let me know if you liked this video and you found it helpful, and let me know if you'd like me to do any of these videos in the future, and if so, which specific characters would you like me to look at and explain. And as usual, please don't forget to like, comment, and most importantly, subscribe, please subscribe, because it really helps. Currently, only about 1% of people watching are actually subscribed, which makes me so sad. So please just click that subscribe button, and if you want, ring the bell to get notified for my future videos. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you will join me again for another video in the future. Thank you, bye!